Welcome back, everyone. I'm absolutely thrilled you're here. We have a fantastic story to unpack today, diving into a really brilliant piece of work by none other than J.R.R. Tolkien. Now, when we think of Tolkien, we usually jump straight to epic quests, glowing swords, and fiery rings, right? But today's explainer focuses on a delightfully unusual and honestly super misunderstood creature from one of his lesser-known poems, Perry-the-Winkle. So let's just jump right in and explore this incredible tale of prejudice, unexpected friendship, and believe it or not, some seriously good baked goods.
So here is the big question for us to chew on. What happens when a terrifying troll really just wants to host a tea party? It kind of sounds like a setup for a joke, but Tolkien uses this exact premise to completely flip the classic fairy tale trope of the monstrous, man-eating troll on its head. Instead of guarding a toll bridge or hoarding piles of stolen treasure, our protagonist is looking for something way more relatable, something entirely human.
Section 1. The Lonely Troll's Plight. A Misunderstood Monster.
Picture this. We start off far, far away from the bustling towns of men and hobbits. There's a troll sitting entirely alone in the hills of far away. Just this vast, empty stretch from Weathertop all the way down to the sea. And he's singing a mournful lay, a really sad song, lamenting that his folk are gone beyond recall. He's literally the last of his kind. Now, to the outside world, he is purely an intimidating, scary creature. Heavy, thudding feet, rough hands, and a terrifying face. But his true nature? It's the exact opposite. He actually has a soft heart, a sweet smile, and get this, he's a fantastic cook. He explicitly tells us he steals no gold, he drinks no beer, and he eats zero meat. But because of that rough exterior, people just slam their doors in absolute terror the second they hear his heavy footsteps coming down the road.
But you know what? Despite the constant rejection, our troll refuses to give up. He makes this proactive, incredibly endearing decision, declaring, "I must go and find a friend. A walking soft, I'll wander through the Shire from end to end." He even puts on boots made of fur so his heavy feet won't frighten anyone. How sweet is that? And he walks all through the night, down toward the Shire, absolutely determined to just make a connection.
Section 2. Panic in the Shire. Judging a book by its cover. So the troll arrives in the town of Delving just as the morning light breaks. But his polite greetings? Yeah, they go disastrously wrong. It sparks this fluid, completely comedic chain reaction of absolute panic. He politely says hello to old Mrs. Bunce, and she just drops her umbrella and basket and screams her head off. Then Mayor Pot turns purple and pink with fear and literally dives underground. The chaos spreads like wildfire to the animals. Sheep are going wild, geese are flying over the walls, and to cap it off, Farmer Hog spills his ale, and Bill Butcher actually throws a knife at him. Even the troll's own dog tucks its tail and runs. The townspeople are reacting 100% to his terrifying exterior, totally deaf to his gentle words. Which brings us to this deeply emotional, honestly heartbreaking moment in the text. The old troll, so hurt and rejected by the very people he just tried to befriend, retreats. He sits outside the Lockhole's gate and simply weeps. Just think about the toll of that prejudice for a second. He did everything right, didn't he? He wore soft boots, he spoke politely, he smiled, and yet he's left completely isolated, crying at the edge of town.
Section 3. An unlikely new friendship. Enter Perry-the-Winkle.
Just when it seems like all hope is completely lost for our lonely troll, a young lad named Perry-the-Winkle creeps up to him. And Perry entirely breaks the pattern of the panicked townspeople. He doesn't scream, he doesn't run away. He approaches this crying monster and says, "Oh, why do you weep, you great big lump? You're better outside than in." And he gives the troll this friendly, comforting thump on the back. It's such a simple act of kindness, right? Stripping away all that fear and treating the troll like a person. Well, I mean, like a great big lump, but affectionately. And it totally works. It makes the troll grin.
The troll is so utterly overjoyed by this single act of acceptance that he immediately cries out that Perry is the lad for him. He issues this joyous invitation, "Jump on my back, and I'll carry you all the way home to the hills of far away for a proper tea." Perry doesn't even hesitate. He jumps on, holds tight, and off they go.
Section 4. A Feast in Far Away. The Baker's Art.
Back at the troll's home in the hills, the fire is hot and the kettle is singing. The troll is finally able to show off his true passion and his real talent, hosting a massive cozy feast for his new and only friend. He whips up this incredible spread. We're talking pikelets, buttered toast, jam, cream, cake, and absolute gallons of tea pouring from a large brown pot. The Winkle, who is clearly a boy who appreciates a solid meal, strives to eat the absolute most he possibly can, even if his coat buttons are ready to burst. He's just sitting there on the old troll's knee, having the feast of a lifetime.
After they are entirely stuffed and just resting by the fire, the troll decides to pass on his greatest secret. He teaches Perry the baker's art, specifically how to make beautiful cramsomgread. Now, these are light, brown bannocks that require a very specific, almost magical touch. It's this incredibly intimate sharing of knowledge, a priceless gift from a misunderstood monster to the one boy who actually showed him some kindness. Section 5. The townspeople demand cake. The hypocrisy of Bree.
So, flash forward, back in the Shire, a very fat, very satisfied Perry-the-Winkle returns. Everyone immediately notices he has been eating extraordinarily well. But when they ask him where he got this fulsome tea, whether it was in the Shire or out in Bree, Perry refuses to spill the secret. But you know how small towns are. Secrets are hard to keep. A character named Peeping Jack chimes in and ruins it, revealing the shocking truth. He actually watched Perry ride away on the old troll's back to the hills of far away. And suddenly, the very same townspeople who were just throwing knives and diving underground at the sight of the troll, they change their tune entirely. The second they hear about the amazing food, they are rushing out by pony, cart, and moke, heading straight to the troll's house.
They arrive, they see the chimney smoke, and they start hammering on the troll's door, demanding he bake them beautiful cramsom cakes. But the troll? Oh, he stands his ground with this absolutely brilliant response. He tells them, "Go home, go home. I never invited you. Only on Thursdays I bake my bread, and only for a few." The consequences of their earlier prejudice are laid totally bare here. Think about how this shakes out. The list of people getting beautiful cramsom bread is exactly one person long, Perry-the-Winkle. Meanwhile, the town hypocrites, Peeping Jack, Farmer Hog, Mrs. Bunce, and Mayor Pot, they are flatly rejected. The troll tells them his house is too small, there's no food left because Perry ate it all anyway, and frankly, he wishes to see them no more. He dismisses the whole lot of them, reaffirming that the Winkle's the boy for me. Section 6. The Baker of Bree, a lasting legacy.
In the aftermath of this wonderful little tale, Perry grows so incredibly fat from eating cramsom bread that his waistcoats burst and his hats literally no longer fit his head. Every single Thursday, without fail, he visits his friend the troll for tea, sitting right there on the kitchen floor as the years go by. And because of those unique skills he learned, Perry actually becomes a legend in his own right. The poem tells us his fame spreads all the way from the sea to Bree. He becomes known as this great baker, famous for his bread, both short and long, successfully passing on the art he learned from his monstrous, big-hearted friend.
But of course, Tolkien leaves us with this wonderful little caveat. No matter how famous Perry became, his bread was never quite as good as the original cramson bread. It always lacked that rich, free butter that the old troll spread exclusively for Perry every Thursday. That specific magic, that perfection, well, that remained a private experience shared only between two very unlikely friends. Which brings us to the end of our explainer today. I want to leave you all with this final provocative thought. Who might you be judging by their rough exterior, and what cramsom bread might you be missing out on because of it? The townspeople entirely missed out on a feast and a friend because they let their fear run the show, while Perry gained a legendary friendship through just one simple act of kindness. It is a fantastic reminder from Tolkien about the real cost of prejudice. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Keep learning, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.